Now, nobody likes three putting. Nobody. And you go play different courses all the time and you got different speeds of greens. How do you get the speed right when you go from one course and then play a course with faster greens or slower greens? I'm going to give you a simple tool that you can use to be able to figure out the speed not only on your own green, but then transfer it to every other green speed you ever play, so that no matter where you play, three putts will be a thing of the past. So putting speed has everything to do with you knowing how far it's going to go when you hit it. So you need a tool that's going to be able to get you there, starting with at the place that you normally play. And that's where we start to develop this thing. And I'll show you what it is first. Because you're able to come up here and take the pin out of the hole, you're already standing right where the hole is. And if my ball is way over there, guess what? I'm going to walk back to my ball and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm 12 steps from the hole. Slightly uphill, it's going to play about 13 steps. And I know how hard to hit a 13-step putt on these greens. So I set up to the ball, I line up, and I go ahead and hit a 13-step putt. And magically, it's right by the hole. A little tap-in putt, even though I'm 35 feet from the hole. Pretty cool, right? So here's how you do it. In order to know, without any extra tools, with the stuff that you have with you, your feet and your arms and your head and your body, to figure out how far you hit a putt, you need 3 different distances to work with. You need 20 feet, 40 feet, and 60 feet. And those 3 distances will cover almost all of the putts that you have on a green. Sure, you get an 80-footer from now and again, but really, should you be that far from the hole to start with? Anyways, so I know at my home course, my 7-step putt, when I set up to the ball, I have to take it back that far, which is right on the inside of my instep. And I learned that by practicing it. Then I know a 14-step putt, I'm going to have to take it back to the outside of my foot. And guess what? A 21-step putt, I'm going to take it 1 foot width outside of my back foot. So that right there is going to be a 21-step putt. And so you can start to figure this out. Hey, if I've got a 12-step putt, well, it's not going to be quite to 14. It's not going to be at 7. It's going to be right there. And you get a feel for how many steps it is. And you're counting off before you ever start how long the putt is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I know that this is my 7-step putt distance. So I can take it back to the length that I need and confidently, without having to guess, hit a 7-step putt, which of course I left right in the jaws. But look at that, just a tap-in little putt, and it allows you to get your speed. So first we're going to talk about how to actually build this system, and then we're going to talk about how to transfer it to any other course, okay? So the first thing we do is we practice what I call the 20, 40, 60 drill. And that is, we take 3 tees and we walk out 7, 14, and 21 steps. And we put down a tee. And you want to pick a generally flat putt. This one is pretty flat. It's a tiny bit uphill, but relatively a flat putt that's going to give you a good baseline for where we're working. And you start at 7 steps. And I'm going to talk in terms of steps because feet get confusing because it's just walking off each of the different distances. And what we're working on here is we're setting up and we want to see how far back we have to take the putter to hit it 7 steps. And we say, okay, that wasn't quite enough. So I've got to take it a little bit further back than that. There we go, that was better. And we're only looking at speed. And we want to hit that 7-step putt again. So the drill actually is from 7, 14, and 21 steps, you have to 2-putt all of your putts. Okay, you got to get them all in the hole in 2 putts. And if you make one, it doesn't count. You don't get a free 3-putt just because you made one. Okay, then you step back here to 14 steps and you figure out only how far do I have to take the club back in order to get 14 steps. Well, that one looked pretty good. and you start to build a confidence for that 14-step putt. That one might go in. Oh, not quite. And so you build your stroke distances for 7, for 14, and for 21 steps. So then you go back to 60 feet or to 21 steps, and you figure out what the distance is for you being able to hit the ball 21 steps. I mean, okay, sure, I missed one here short, but the other ones are very good putts from 60 feet. And so the drill itself is you got to 2-putt all of these, adding a little bit of pressure, and if you miss any of them, well, you have to go back to 20 and start all over again. So that's step 1. Now, how do you transfer it to all the other greens that you play? Now, let's imagine I've come to a different course, and this course has really long, shaggy greens. Well, my depth gauge or my 7, 14, and 21 step distances aren't going to work on this green. No, of course not, because this is much slower. This is actually the fairway. But watch this. If I get to the course and I go to the putting green, and even if I only have 50 seconds, 60 seconds before I tee off, I can go find a flat spot on the green where there's 7 steps of flat distance and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and I put my balls down, and I know how far my 7-step putt goes. So now I just hit what I already know is my 7-step distance, and I say, okay, I'm going to hit this one 7 steps. That was pretty good. I know that one was 7 steps. Let's do that again. And one more, and you take 3 balls, and you say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know I've got my speed. That's it. If my 7-step putt only goes 5 steps, well, then I know for every 7 steps I have to take 2 off. It's only going to go 5 for 7. Now, I realize this is math, but watch this. Let's imagine that this little hole right here is my hole, and I'm gonna step out and see how far I am. So for every 5 steps on this surface, I have a 7-stroke swing. Okay, so 5 for 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am 10 steps away, which is my 14-step stroke. Okay, so I can confidently say at this point, my 14-step stroke is going to get me the right distance. And magically, I am right on speed. How about again? Oh, that one might even go in. Oh, not quite. Well, that one? Oh. So even if I'm putting on fairways, I can still use the depth gauge to give me the proper distance to know how far to hit it. So look at this. If I'm on super fast greens and my 7-step stroke goes 8 steps or 9 steps, well, guess what? I'm going to have to adjust my numbers for the right distance, but I don't have to adjust my stroke. I just have to know how far, based on my stroke, that ball is going to go. And this works. I used it when I was playing professionally, when we were going, even in junior golf and in collegiate golf, going back and forth to different courses, playing different courses every week, and courses that necessarily weren't in great shape. You're not always playing fast greens or the same speed of greens. So being able to adjust one green to the next, I'm a fantastic speed putter because I employ this system of using my feet as my own depth gauge and then stepping off my own putts and calculating. So if I've got a uphill 7-step putt, well, I just hit a 9-step putt. Or if I'm on a downhill and I want to get it just over the edge, well, maybe it's 6 steps to the edge, and then it will pick up speed going downhill. So if I hit it 6.5 steps, it'll just get to the edge and head downhill. So this thing can work no matter where you are. You develop it at your home course using your own greens, the greens that you know that you play the most often, and then you adapt it to every course that you go to. And every time you show up at the course, you take 3 minutes, you go to the putting green, you find your 7-step putt, you count how many they go, and you got to figure it out, man.